They both laughed. The words I wanted to say disappeared before they ever left my lips. I lowered my eyes to my plate, feeling completely invisible. After breakfast, I left for work. My steps felt slower than usual. Dark clouds covered the sky, making the entire morning feel heavy. When I arrived at the bookstore, Mrs. Brown looked at me with concern. "Mira, are you feeling all right?" she asked gently. I forced a small smile. "I'm okay," I replied, but she didn't seem convinced. "You don't look like yourself today," she said softly. There was so much kindness in her voice that it almost made me cry. For a moment, I wanted to tell her everything, but I wasn't ready. "It's just been a long day," I said instead. She smiled warmly. "Don't push yourself too hard." I nodded and quietly got back to work. I arranged books on the shelves, helped customers, and tried to keep my mind busy. Books were easier to understand than people ever were. They never made me question my worth. Around lunchtime, a young girl walked into the store with her mother. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she rushed toward the children's section. "Mom, look at this one," she called happily. Her mother walked over with a smile. "That's a wonderful choice, sweetheart." The two of them sat together, reading the story and laughing softly. I watched them from across the room. A familiar tightness returned to my chest. I quickly looked away and focused on my work. By evening, I finally headed home. As I stepped inside, I heard voices coming from the living room. Mom and Nora were talking. I stopped near the entrance without making a sound. "I've always been proud of you, Nora," Mom said warmly. For a second, my heart stood still. "I always believed you would achieve something special," Nora laughed. "Thanks, Mom." I waited, hoping my name would come next. It never did. A few seconds later, I walked into the room. Their conversation ended immediately. "Oh, Mira, you're home," Mom said. "Yeah," I answered quietly. "Dinner's ready." We gathered around the table. Something inside me had changed. It wasn't just sadness anymore. It felt like courage was slowly replacing fear. Halfway through dinner, I looked directly at my mother. "Mom." She raised her eyes. "Yes." My hands felt cold beneath the table. My heartbeat pounded loudly in my ears. I took a slow, deep breath. "Do you love Nora more than you love me?" The room fell silent. Dad looked up in surprise. Nora stopped eating. Mom stared at me, shocked. "Mira, what are you talking about?" she asked. My voice trembled, but I didn't stop. "I feel like Nora always comes first. You spend more time with her. You encourage her more. Whenever she's around, you seem happier." My eyes filled with tears. "I try so hard, Mom. I help around the house. I never ask for much. But sometimes I feel like I don't matter." No one spoke. The silence felt endless. Mom slowly placed her spoon on the table. "Mira, that's not true," she said quietly. "Maybe not to you," I replied, "but it's how it feels to me. I notice it every single day." Mom sighed uncomfortably. "You're thinking too much." Then she added words that cut deeper than I expected. "You're just too sensitive." Those words hit me like a knife to the heart. Too sensitive. The same words again. I lowered my gaze. "I'm not trying to blame anyone," I whispered. "I just want to understand." For the first time, Nora spoke. "Mira, Mom loves both of us. You shouldn't think like that." I looked into her eyes. She seemed completely sincere. Maybe she truly couldn't see what I had been living through. Or maybe